Getting straight into Lions injury news versus the Minnesota Vikings. We're doing it right now. Going straight to it without further ado. This is what's going on here. So you have Jameson Williams ruled out in this game. I fully expected that. If it was a normal game where the Lions didn't have everything clinched up and you have to win, at Ford Field this Sunday, if you had to win the NFC North, he would probably play in this game. Let's keep it 100. But they're being very, very smart. Keep anybody that's dealing with any sort of injury that's on the cusp, just let them sit out in this game. We have a lot of wide receivers that can fill in the Jameson Williams role. That's one reason why we got Donovan Peoples-Jones, folks, is the extra depth at that position. And so now when you have an injury to a Jameson Williams, you have a guy who I think we're all comfortable that can come in and get the job done in Donovan Peoples-Jones. We got great depth there, so I'm happy to see that they're not going to play JMO in this game and save him for the playoff game, the more important game here. JMO is averaging, about 50 yards a game anyway, so you're not losing a lot of production there, and you got a guy in Donovan Peoples-Jones that can pretty much replicate what he does, right? He can go deep. He can do crossing routes. He has that ability. He doesn't have the same speed, but that's okay. I'm perfectly fine with that. Great there. Brock Wright not playing in this game. No one expected him to play in this game. He's still dealing with an injury. Hopefully he'll be good to go for the playoffs because he's good at blocking tight end. Look, we don't talk about blocking that much. We're always talking about catching the football, but make no mistake about it, Brock Wright's a really good blocker at the tight end position, so we can use him in the playoffs when he will be back. James Houston, we know he wasn't going to play in this game. He'll probably make his debut on Wild Card Weekend, possibly not. But that's what we're looking at. I think we all expected James Houston then to return at that point. What player are you excited to return for the Detroit Lions? Blow up the comment section right now. Questionable. Benito Jones dealing with an illness. Look, if he's not feeling good, rest him. No need for it. Again, let's get everybody at 100%. Alim McNeill, I think he actually plays in this game. Again, it's not... He was injured last week. He's been dealing with the injury since about a month ago. And so to get his feet wet, to come back into it, get the rust off for the playoffs, maybe he'll play a set amount of snaps. He may not be doing it all, but just to get his feet wet after being injured for some time. And same with CJ Gardner-Johnson there, IR pectoral. We expect him to be playing the game on Sunday. I think everybody there, it's a great situation. Same with Alim McNeill, too. If you're not feeling great, or you're trying to get your feet wet just a little bit, you're not fully there, you can go ahead and do it in this game. Get the feet wet, get the rust off for the playoffs, because we need CJ Gardner-Johnson for the playoffs there. So, look, nothing out of the ordinary. That's really good here. Sam Laporta, Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow, Graham Glasgow, and Cam Sutton all practice, full go. They'll play on Sunday in this game. Again, if they're not, this is the way that I put it, and they're probably putting it this way, is if you're not 100%, you don't play. But if you're playing full practice right now, you got to be pretty close, right? Maybe these guys will play three-fourths of the game if the Lions are whooping on the Vikings or something like that. But the offensive line is stout. It's good to go because basically three of these players in the offensive line, you can't have none of that out there. For the Minnesota Vikings, ruled out Brian O'Neill and Byron Murphy is the biggest names there. Remember, Byron Murphy did not play when the Lions played the Vikings the first time, and he's their best player, in my opinion, in the secondary for them. You have Brian O'Neill. He didn't play last time we played as well. He's their right tackle. That's a significant blow. Aiden Hutchinson's on that side. He's going to get his. Then you have Mekhi Blackman and Jalen Naylor. Jacqueline Roy, they're not going to be playing this game. Same with Theo Jackson. So significant injuries to the Minnesota Vikings. And look, this is their final game most likely this year for this season, so you're going to see them play. Christian Darrisaw, illness is questionable. I expect him to play. Again, it's just an illness, right? Ed Ingram, shoulder. Man, they're dealing with a lot of issues with that offensive line. They sure are. They sure are over there. Nick Musu, knee, he will be playing this game, and Harrison Smith, the veteran safety, will be playing this game. So significant injuries to the Minnesota Vikings offensive line, and that's going to be important. Remember, TJ Hawkinson's not playing either. He was placed in IR, so he's not going to be there. The Lions will have an opportunity defensively to really get after Nick Mullins at quarterback position. They're going to have an opportunity. Their offensive line it's actually a really good offensive line. When healthy, fully healthy, they're actually rated as a top 5 offensive line in the NFL, but they're not healthy. And the questionable players like a Christian Darrisaw hasn't been playing as best as he probably wouldn't normally be playing. And then obviously your right tackle's not playing in this game. So it's a significant injury to the Minnesota Vikings as they're trying to do everything they can to make the playoffs. They have to win and have a bunch of other things happen in this game to occur. But again, we look at these injuries here, it's all going to come down to, will the Lions risk someone that's 95%? I personally wouldn't risk it, but guess what? Dan Campbell, Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson, all the coaches, they know more than I know, and I'm going to roll with what they go there. I think they're not stupid. You see what the Miami Dolphins happen to them, and you're like, you know what? We don't want to have that happen. So if the Lions are significantly ahead, double digits, or they're behind double digits, I can see them pulling some of these starters here, especially the ones that are questionable, right? Some ones that's been dealing with injuries here. You could pull out Taylor Decker, Frank Ragg, just pull the offensive line, start an offensive line out. Give some rest to Dan Skipper, something like that if the situation occurs. Just go do that, right? There's no reason to risk it in this game. We all want the Lions to win. We would love an opportunity to get to that number 2 seed, and they're going to do everything they can to get there. So this is going to be game dictated how this thing operates here. So if it's going great, that's what if you want to rest players, you want to make sure that the Detroit Lions are putting up points early. If we can get to the second half and it's 24-7, that's a situation where maybe they'll do another series in the third quarter, 2 series, and call it a day. So you're going to want to blow out here if you're like me and you want some of these players to get some rest and reduce snaps for players like Aiden Hutchinson or Alim McNeill who's coming back from injury, because we want these guys as best as fresh as humanly possible for the playoffs. And that's the most important thing. Is the Lions, we got the NFC North, and the banner, by the way, is going to be shown on Sunday. So shout out to the Detroit Lions for the 2023 NFC North champions. Put the banner in there. And yeah, it's a small banner. Yeah, it's not a championship banner, but I'm proud of my team for what they've accomplished this year. But they want to keep accomplishing goals, and we can still get to the number 2 seed. And we can dictate how this season goes. And I'm not going to lie, for me personally, I'd love the Lions just to get to 12 wins. I don't remember the last time the Lions have had a 12-win season. Because in 2014 and 2011, there were 11-win teams. I'd like to get to 12 wins. And, it just keeps showing you that you want to win. You always want to win. And, I've always hear stories how, it doesn't matter how you finish a season, right? No, it actually does for this type of football team. The Lions last year finished really strong, and it kept going this season. They kept that going, and we want to keep that going. Want to win, so we go into the wild card, and still a team that's extremely hungry. I want this team to be angry and hungry and continue to grind it out and win a playoff game. They do that, I'm going to be happy. I'll be really, really, really happy if the Lions win a playoff game. My goals was accomplished. Coming into this season for the Detroit Lions, it was simple. Win the NFC North, not just get into the playoffs as a wild card, but win the NFC North, host a playoff game, win a playoff game. We won the NFC North. We're hosting a playoff game. Now we got to win this bad boy. That is the third goal. If they do that, everything else for me is house money. Right? If they can win the next playoff game and get to the NFC Championship game, that is extravagant. That's doing what I don't know if a lot of people expected that. But this team can do it. Make no mistake about it. Anybody that tells you on SportsCenter that they can't do it because the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia, they're lying to you right now. I would take Detroit right now on an even playing field. I'll take Detroit over Philadelphia and Dallas. San Francisco, I would not do. But right now, I would take the Lions over those 2 teams. They're a better football team, in my opinion. They are a better football team. You go to Dallas, and you basically win the game without a screw job play, or you're going to their house and nearly win the game, even if you're not on the referee thing. It was a close game, 19-20. Okay, they're putting up 40 points on teams at Dallas. They're 16-0 at home, and we nearly took that away from them. So this team at an even playing field, best believe I'm taking the Detroit Lions. Even if the Lions got to go to Dallas again this year, I'm taking Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit, and I'm not going to pick the Dallas to win that game. I think the Lions have the talent, they have the coaches, and they have the ambition to get and make a run. They really legitimately do. And if you're an older Lions fan, you've been hearing this for a long time, I'm telling you right now, from what I've seen, I've watched every single play from this football team this year. I've missed 2 plays out of this whole year because of issues with technology. Other than that, for the past 5 years, I've watched basically every single play. Okay, and I've watched this team over the years for a long time, and this is the best team that I've seen since I've been a fan of the Detroit Lions that I can remember. Okay, this is the best team that I've seen in a very long time. They can make a legit run, but it does come down to health. There's things that comes down to, and right now Lions are healthy. The Lions need to be smart about how they play this game on Sunday and come out of this bad boy healthy. You come out of it healthy, fantastic. Fantastic. Sky's the limit for this football team. Super excited to see what happens on Sunday, and then we can really get into the playoffs, and it's a win and continue to go on, lose and go home and ready for the postseason. So whatever happens, we're going to be here for you. If the Lions continue to win, look, hey, you want to say subscribe. If they lose, hey, we're talking free agency in the NFL draft all the way until it happens. That's what this channel is all about, is Detroit Lions 24/7 from a fan perspective, as well as a former player in Herman Moore. And it is the Detroit Lions. This is all for you. So with that said, folks, adios.